Hello and good afternoon. This is Dr. Gregory Jenkins, and you're listening to AM 1220 KHTS. We have a great show today about trauma and fun and things like that. And
trauma and fun.
Trauma and fun, exactly.
This is my doc in Dukov, so welcome. This is Alicia Dukov. I am the psych intern and doctoral student of clinical psychology, specializing in sex therapy and eventually hypnotherapy. And then we have Dr. Jenkins here, who is my doc, as part of my doc in Dukov, and he has his own practice here in Santa Clarita. If you haven't been in to see him, he is the best private doctor and somebody that I thoroughly feel honored to have as somebody I can call my doc. You even see my kid.
I do. I saw them that one time, 2 years ago.
No, I take him to you for sniffles and everything.
Sniffles.
And apparently he's on your website, too.
He is. His picture's on the website. I'm sure he must be much older by now.
Well, I think that was like a year ago.
But
he's going to be 4 on Sunday.
But don't forget, you can call us if you have any medical questions, psychological questions. Mm-hmm. Please call us at 298-5487. And we're here just waiting for it because we love to help you. And don't forget, you can get the KHTS app. Just download it from the free KHTS app on your iPhones or your Androids. And now you can listen to KHTS wherever you are. You can also listen to KHTS news, social media, and more. So the easiest thing to do is just download it on your phone and enjoy this broadcast. Yeah,
and also my husband always puts up the link on Facebook. So if you guys go onto the website, you can actually listen to us live. Go to My Doc in Dukov on the Hometown Station website.
That's right.
It's www.hometownstation.com. And look us up and you can hear us live. So first of all, before we get started today, and I'm going to talk about the topic and what we're going to be talking about with it in a second, but how are you?
I'm good. We're in the middle of the flu season, so I hope you people that are listening all got their flu shots because this year the flu shot's been pretty good.
I did not get my flu shot.
Okay, well, you'll be dragging in there.
So sick. I won't be here next week. I'll be sick with the flu.
One of the bad things about getting the flu, the medicine's $120 to get you better.
Jeez. Oh, Tamiflu, right?
Tamiflu, yeah. So it's
that stuff makes me pills. Sicker, actually.
Does
I feel more sick on Tamiflu.
You are special.
Oh, that's not normal?
Most people they feel so much better that they have the Tamiflu. Once I had the flu, I took it, I felt, oh God, thank God, I felt better. No aching and no pain and no sweating and just felt terrible. But
yeah, I didn't like it. But then again, I had the flu. So
you had the flu, yeah.
It's probably.
But can you get the flu? You can get the flu shot with malaria, can't you? I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, see now, you just brought in a whole new thing. You want to tell everybody?
No, yes, that's your history, not mine.
But you just revealed. I have malaria.
How did you get it?
Right. Okay. So, and this is the day that I walked into Dr. Jenkins' office after living in Africa for 6 months. And he looked at me and he said, "You look tribal." And it became my nickname.
She's tribal.
It became my nickname. He still calls me tribal. So I was 26 years old. I was living in Africa for 6 months, and I was helping on an orphanage site. I was building an orphanage with some friends of mine who started this program called One Heart Source out of UCLA. And there were 18 of us. We flew over there and lived in a dirt field and built this orphanage for children who had been affected by parents who had either died from HIV or AIDS or had disappeared somehow, that they weren't being able to, take care of their kids and just, went off and left them. And so these children were orphaned. So we built this orphanage. I was there for, around 6 months. And because we were living in the middle of a dirt field, there's all that stagnant water, which of course brings in mosquitoes.
Right.
And we were all warned that malaria is a big infection over there. It's a big disease over there. And a lot of people there get it and die from it because there are
more people die from malaria every day than any other disease in the United States.
That is true. Well, also because of the population numbers.
They probably have it in Brazil, too. I always have to look up on the...
No, they have different parasites over
Center
there.
for Disease Control and look at the website. Because even if you're going to a certain country, it depends on whether you're in the south part of the country, north part of the country, up in the mountains.
Yes.
So if you're going to travel out of the United States, you really should find out before you go.
Well, each region has different things. And, another thing over there was amoeba. They said we could get amoeba.
Amoeba histolytica.
Which makes you really, really ill.
You have diarrhea forever.
Yeah. amoebic dysentery, basically. But malaria is carried by these mosquitoes, and you find them in stagnant water areas, in these dirt fields, and
Right.
especially in Africa. And a lot of people die from it there because the antiretroviral treatments are so expensive. So
Right.
that's one of the movements right now is we're trying to get, and I'm still involved in this as a movement, antiretrovirals over there for free to help people with malaria. So anyway, it goes from count 1 to count 9. Count 9 will kill you. You die at count 9. I got to count 4.
Wow, so you're halfway there.
I was really sick.
Halfway to you know where.
Well, no, I'm cured now. But
Eternal Valley.
you never get rid of the parasite, I found out. So it sits in your liver, and it'll lay dormant for years, and it won't affect anything else. But occasionally, if it feels like it, it comes out for a little joyride in my bloodstream
Right.
for like a day.
And your blood smear, if you take your blood count and you smear it on a microscope slide and look at it in a microscope, it's going to look unusual compared to
Yes.
my blood.
Yes, and I can never give blood again. Like, I'm not allowed to donate blood. So that kind of sucked. I can't be I think I can be a donor, but only of certain organs.
Only for research. not like blood that goes to a patient.
Not for like a living being. I'm actually, so that's the thing though. It doesn't affect you in any other area of your life. I have a healthy reproductive system. I have a healthy child. My child did not get malaria, so it doesn't transmit from mother to child because we have our own bloodstream. We have our own blood source. And, I learned all about this stuff when I was doing HIV and AIDS
whenever you're
awareness.
sick, you become much smarter. Whatever disease you have, you're much smarter.
Why is that?
Because you lived through it.
because you
and-
learn
and you-
about
and
it.
you learned about it. You took what the treatment for it. You took the testing for it.
Right. And the treatment for malaria doesn't even exist in this country, the one that really works. It's called Coartem, and they only have it over there. I think you can also get it in the UK. But it's
eBay.
It's not. No. I wouldn't do it. Don't. He did not say that just now. Do not try to find Coartem on eBay. By all means, just don't do it. But the Coartem is not approved by the FDA in this country. So if you have malaria,
Well, luckily, we don't have that much malaria in this country, other than people coming back from wherever they went to.
right,
We
and
really don't have to have it.
usually you've detected it before you get on the airplane because you
Right.
want to die. So
Right.
it's a pretty quick fix over there. They prick your finger. Within 20 minutes, you know what count you have if you have malaria, and then they dose you up with Coartem, and you're on your back for like a week. I had to go to the local hostel just to sleep in a bed. I was living in a mud hut.
Is that movie? We saw that movie about Hostel?
Hostel?
The Hostel movie?
No.
Justin, remember that movie, The Hostel? Yeah,
I
it's a
always-
horror movie. So with her in the
Sounds like.
Yeah, with her in the hospital. It's about the same thing.
Hostel. No.
Hospital.
No, youth hostels over there are fun because you have all the other volunteers that are there. They're all your age. But I lived in a mud hut made out of cow dung and mud, which surprisingly was incredibly insulating and protective.
We should put those on our website.
Mud huts?
Pictures of where you lived when you were in Africa.
Oh my God, I totally have the pictures.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's what started me at the Signal. I worked at the Signal for a few years under Michelle Buttleman in the lifestyle section because they did a story about me when I came back from Africa. So they have the pictures of me and the kids in the mud
we should
hut.
do that.
Totally. Well, yeah, we can put it up on the site.
The site.
And that's something, if anybody's listening, I highly recommend doing some kind of volunteer experience like that, even if you get malaria.
Yeah.
You have a story to tell, but much more than that, it's like the most enriching experience you can give your heart.
But we've had almost 10 or 15 minutes of talking, but we haven't even talked about our topic today, have we?
Well, I think it bleeds into it, let's
guess
put it
you're
that
right,
way,
yeah.
because today we're going to talk about pain. And the fact that pain is not just physical, it's emotional, and that the two combine. So when you have emotional pain, it oftentimes produces itself somatically in a physical pain.
Right.
And likewise, if you have a physical pain, it's really going to get you down emotionally, especially if it's chronic. It leads to depression and stress and the anxiety over having that physical chronic pain from a medical condition. So the two are very interlinked, and I actually have this great article that I printed out here that has a lot of valid points about it. So we're going to learn about pain today, psychologically and
'Cause,
physically.
yesterday in my office, I had 4 patients that were chronic pain patients, and they are miserable people.
Yeah, it can't be fun.
Some people look at them when they take these pain medicine, oh, he's a drug addict. But really, the truth is, they've got pain.
And they don't want to be on the
They
pain
don't
pills,
feel
right?
that good, and they're always like chasing around trying to
Makes
find a
it
doctor that's
worse.
nice to them. So, so I'm ready to hear about this.
Okay, well, first of all, let's just discuss what you just said. People that are on a lot of pain pills, they have to be on them. It's not a choice, really.
That's
and
right.
I think it makes for more depression and more you want to just get into a hole and crawl in and pull the hole in behind you, because they really debilitate the person's aura, energy, feeling about themselves. I mean, you become like a zombie, and then you become so dependent on these pills.
And, I feel bad for these people because, when they get in to see a pain specialist, they have to sign a contract that says they won't take more than so many pills a day or a week, or whatever the program is. And then if they miss an appointment, they won't give them the medicines. And some of these people are bus people. They only get on to the doctor by waiting the bus because they're so disabled. So there's not a good way to make. There's not one good pill for everybody. Everybody has different medicines that needs them, and most of them, are some kind of orthopedic injury. The spine is usually what happens.
Or the back, right?
Spine, somewhere in the spine, neck,
Okay.
mid back, bottom back. Excuse me.
And something that started off as a basic pain like sciatica, for instance, right?
Right.
The other areas of your body will start to compensate for the area that is having the tissue damage or the nerve damage, right?
Right.
So then that creates pain in those other regions.
And certain people people have different pain thresholds. So what Alicia can take is different than what I can take. So what happens with pain management is they go to the pain management, and we should get a pain management doctor on.
That'd be great.
I'll call one, yeah. And they have different things, and they have different medicines they need to take, and different theories, and they do a lot of injections and stuff. And some of them just end up getting hooked on the medicine, and they end up on morphine pills and things like that. And eventually,
Oxycontin.
all those bad ones. Morphine's even stronger than oxy. So all those things have to be getting out of your system somehow.
We live in such a drug culture, though, that it's usually the first place, you go to a trusted doctor, and the doctor only gives you those options. Like, well, I'm going to put you on Percocet. Oh, I'm going to put you on Oxycontin, oxycodone, right? You're not being given, usually, the gamut of other choices, something holistic. Or, we just had Tara on last week, who's all about nutrition and trying to find other alternatives besides chemical substances in order to make us healthy and balanced hormonally.
Well, don't forget, vitamins and herbs are chemical substances.
Okay, but aren't they
they're just
natural derivatives, though, not chemical-based?
80% of prescriptions that we take are from plants.
Plants, right,
basically.
that's organic.
Right, so a lot of them are.
They're not synthesized. That's the difference.
They're not made up in a
in a lab.
laboratory,
And
yeah.
the thing is, our bodies, they digest and they integrate better with organic substances because our bodies themselves are organic. So if you're trying to put something plastic inside of something that comes from the ground, how do those two combine? They don't. That plastic is never going to disintegrate into the earth. The earth is not going to take that plastic into it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same thing.
I live it sometimes.
And we all do. We're living in that
Right.
drug culture. And we, it's even in our food. So that's why Whole Foods has become such a big deal. Okay, so let's talk about the combination of emotional and physical pain. Because where this article starts is that they both have the same neural signatures. So when I get emotional pain, the same neural areas in my brain, the same neural transmitters are affected and activated as though I were having physical pain. So say that I stub my toe. It doesn't matter what region of the body that pain is in. The pain receptors are going to be activated in two distinct areas of the brain. And the same two areas of my brain are going to be activated if I have a heartbreak. Isn't that interesting? So the pain
goes
of the heartbreak and the pain of me stubbing my toe, even though the two are completely unrecognizable if you put them next to each other as far as comparing them, inside what's happening neurally in our brains, the same two areas are activated. So it's actually very interesting. The two areas of the brain are the anterior insula and the anterior cingulate cortex.
That's right in the center of the brain.
I was just going to ask you to tell us.
If you take a brain in your lab and you cut it exactly in half from the front to the back, and you open it up like a sandwich, you'll see those two areas are right in the middle.
And what does that mean? So they're basically the center,
That's
of the.
pain pleasure center right there.
Ah, pain and pleasure.
It goes together.
It does. And, you see this in every aspect of our nature as human beings. Pain and pleasure are often the same for people. It's the agony and the ecstasy. You see this a lot in sexual activities. We like dancing the edge of pain and pleasure.
Right.
And we often combine the two.
So I guess that's why the movie's coming out, the darker 50 sides, or what was that?
For goodness sake.
What's it called?
Another 50...
50
Shades Darker
50
and
Shades
darker and darker.
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
So that's so interesting. So it's right in the center, and that would make sense as to why pain and pleasure are often so combined for us. All right. See, we're learning here. So I guess basically over the course of our evolution, our bodies decided to take more of an economical route and use like a single neural system to detect and feel pain, regardless of whether it's physical or emotional. So why do you think over evolution, our bodies, our brain, the neural passageways in the brain started to form together as far as what would cause physical pain, what would cause emotional pain? Why did they do that? Why is it not in a separate area of the brain, do you think? Scientifically.
Scientifically, I don't know for sure, but I can give my guess.
Okay, what?
My guess is that you're talking about caveman time, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was very, very hard to exist in those times. You had to find somebody could catch the cows or catch whatever you ate.
The wildebeest.
And the wildebeest, and also protects you. So you can imagine if you were protected, then you would feel happier. If you weren't protected, it'd be more pain. But I'm not sure why they're still close together. I'm just guessing.
Well, that's interesting. I see what you're saying. So in other words, because we were operating on such survival mode, everything was so basic.
Right. Even our
everything
body
had to be kind of formed together and not complicated.
Yeah. Even on our body, it always reacts to stress and trauma like that. If you're trying to lose weight, if you tighten down your calorie intake, you won't lose weight. Your body will shut down because it says you're having a famine. So the body says save whatever.
It tries to protect you.
It tried to protect you,
and keep the food there.
The body always tries to protect you.
That's so true. I've heard that. So
Yeah.
starvation mode actually doesn't help you
No,
at all.
If you starve yourself, you won't lose weight.
Because your body holds on to
turns off and says, you know
whatever.
what? That's even why when women breastfeed, if they're too skinny, they don't make any milk because they're trying to say, well, you really can't afford to have another baby because you're low on everything.
Right. And that's it. So the body tries to protect you, so it conserves as much as it can inside, so you're not actually going to be losing the weight.
Even when you pass out, you always have usually a protection mode. If your blood sugar is too low, the body says, okay, let's pass out, lay on the ground, and your fat will start being accumulated by the liver.
That's hypoglycemia, right?
Yeah, and your sugar will go up. But we're going to take a break. Time for a break, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to have a break here.
Okay, well, we'll lead you guys to a break because we're going to come back and talk about heartbreak. See how I did that? You're listening to KHTS 1220 on your AM dial. And if you want to give us a call, 661-298-5487. That's 661-298-KHTS. We'll be right back.